Why, hello there. Hi, here we are again. The wonderful world of live streaming the Troubadork non-commute pandemic coping mechanism show number 244 on the 3rd, the 3rd of June, 2021, when it is in fact raining off and on here at an undisclosed location in San Antonio, Texas. It's been a pretty fair soaker all across because now I like it even though I don't know what it means. It works for me. But yeah, so the yards are all green, which is not a common thing in Texas in June, but here we are. Mind you, it's also green and very muddy. Very muddy indeed. So I have not done a couple of songs in a little while, and one of them is one I did a lot of. I feel like maybe I wore the song out, and that's why I stopped doing it. But the other song that I'm going to be bringing back is one I have done a lot, but I did it at Faire for a very specific person, and it reminded me that, yes, this is a funny song, and yes, this is a fun song for all kinds of reasons. So we'll get into that in a little bit. I am working from home today. My beloved wife is on her way home and hopefully should be home soon. Traffic, because it is raining, means that people in San Antonio, they're not at their best, I guess is a good way of putting it. Although I honestly do believe the majority of the drivers in San Antonio believe themselves to be expert drivers, because no one but an expert driver would pull the wacky stuff that they pull. So there's that. The first one is a filk. It's a filk. Written based on Life's Been Good. It does not have the 4.5-minute guitar solo because I am not Joe Walsh and I don't have a backing band. And guitar solos don't go over well without full backing bands. It's just somebody noodling around on a guitar, especially on a ukulele like this. You really don't want to have 5 minutes of random ukulele noodling. So we'll see. You can pull this trick off here. Yeah. I got a camper, forget the price. Nowhere to park it, they tell me it's nice. I live in tents made with thin nylon walls. Someone has sex, well, it's enjoyed by all. They say I'm crazy, but I have a good time. I'm moving slow, but I'll reach notes by 9. Faire's been good to me so far. pocket. The costume's made up of burlap and cloth. Takes twice as long to put on than take off. My boots are old, not so quick to put on, but I gotta wear them to go to the John. Don't quite know what we'll be doing today. The show goes on, so I just gotta play. Faire's been good to me so far. Now, if I was Joe Walsh, this is where the 3.5-minute guitar solo would go. Sadly, I'm not Joe Walsh, and I'm not that good. So we'll just cut straight to the chase. My hat's quite fancy with feathers and felt. Felt like my whole world's hung off my belt. Strap all this stuff on to go hit the gate. Yeah, the patrons are out there and man, I can't wait. Put a couple decades into burlap and dust. Gotta keep it going, well it looks like I must. Faire's been good to me so far. They do this Ren Fair every year. Beat up my body to get a few cheers. How long I'll do this darn thing, I don't know. But if they're gonna hold it, well I guess I'll go. The play's a thing, and we've all come to play. Your voice says huzzah instead of hooray. It's packing years into just a few days. Faire's been good to me so far. They say there's an art to building suspense. Voting accident. Nobody noticed. And we are off and running with yet another one of those kind of shows. That's all right. Like I said, I actually took this thing out. Actually, I took the auto out because this is the slightly newer version, which has 2 pickups in it, but I don't have an amplified stage for the gig because I didn't have a gig because I just went out visiting, so I took the otter, which is the brown one, out there. Felt my whole life was strapped under my belt or under my hat. Yeah, you know. I often think about that because when you look at, like, historical clothing, particularly ladies' clothing of the 1600s, 1700s, 1800s, there's those big old side saddles. There were actually pockets under there. You could put an entire loaf of bread in one of those. The more space you had, the more things you could carry. And when they reduced that, that's when purses began to become a thing. It was also a significant sociological move to make the women folk more and more dependent upon the males to carry things if they did not have servants. But that's a whole other conversation, and that is more anthropological costuming stuff, which is not my forte, but I do dabble a little bit. I just heard my beloved wife come in, so I'm glad she's home and safe, and that's good. Second song we're going to do, this is the other song I was talking about. When I went to Scarborough, I had a goal, a mission. I needed to play songs for some of these people who had been supportive of me through the entire time I was Tobias the Adequate. Whatever roles they were playing at the time, they supported me to the point of actually prompting me to spontaneously do a show about an hour before I was supposed to do a show one day. But that's a whole nother story, which we will talk about another time. And Florencia, or Flor, currently plays Queen Catherine, the first wife of King Henry VIII, who at this time is young and studly. And I was trying very hard to get her aside for a moment so I could just play the song and get it out of my system, because I had to do this or I was going to explode. And she was moving at a clip the entire time. I mean, the Scarborough Fair cast was significantly smaller this year due to the plague, about 1/3 its usual size. And the folks that were on cast were just busy moving, because the cast's job is to add to the atmosphere of the festival. And finally, near the very end, actually after closing cannon, so after the show was officially over, but she was still out there so that she could interact with the patrons as they were leaving, I said, I have to do a song for you. Just, Ay Dios Mio, she's still in character. Her Majesty, accompanied by Sir Francis, not Sir Francis Drake, another Sir Francis entirely, who is also young and studly. Them queens, you know, they know how to live. And I kind of got up and staggered over, and she came over, and Sir Francis came over, and some patron customers came over, and I said, I have to play this song for you. Now, I did not realize at the time that either Queen Catherine or Fleur were scared of spiders. Didn't know it. And then I started to play the song, and she heard the flamenco, and she was, okay, this is interesting. Now, everyone that I played music for, with certain exceptions at Faire, had this kind of, they were kind of bracing for something to go horribly wrong. Well, this time, when she realized what I was singing about, it got kind of interesting, because she suddenly went, Ay Dios Mio, and hid behind Sir Francis. I then did the rest of the song, and it worked out well. So, that's a good thing. I did not mean to try and freak you out, Florence. I promise. And now you know the secret. Eight little legs and 8 little eyes and 1 heart big as a tree. This tiny valiant jumping spider is a boon companion to me. Fernando, the jumping spider. He's friendly. He doesn't want to make you cry, to scream, shout, or to bellow. But when he leaps up and lands on your blouse, he just wants to say, hello! Fernando, the jumping spider. He's friendly! He is just looking for an amigo. He don't want to make you cry. But when he leaps up and lands on your blouse, he just might scream really high. Fernando, the jumping spider. It's friendly! Fernando. Ole! And she learned the secret, which is, of course, if you've heard the song before, you know that the proclamations, the declaration that Fernando is friendly gets more and more intense until the very end. If we have this in a venue where there's an audience, and the audience is there with me, the people who know this song know that at the end you're supposed to just scream, he's friendly, as loudly as humanly possible. So loud, in fact, not only does it startle the people around you, but it startles people on another stage over there. And now, Fleur knows this. Fleur knows this, which means Queen Catherine knows it. And Queen Catherine knows it but King Henry doesn't. I can see where this is going to go, assuming I ever get to play for them together. And that makes me smile. That makes me smile, because that's how things evolve, how bits evolve at Faire. It added a few months to my lifespan. Yeah, certainly. The next song I'm going to do is one that is brand new, and it is one that I wrote very specifically because I am now officially drifting sideways out of part-time professional performer, which I did as Tobias the Adequate for... If I do one magic trick in a performing venue this year, I will have performed magic as Tobias the Adequate for 19 years. It'll be 20 years next year. Wow. I think I may have to do it just to keep the number up, because I really want to hit 20 and call yay! And so that I can say I've done that. But one of the things that happened is I started doing Tobias the Adequate when I was 35 years old. And think about that for a moment. I was starting a brand new performing career at age 35. I'm now in my 50s. And I'm about a year and a half, maybe 2 years, into performing music on a semi-entertaining basis. Whether or not I ever become professional at it, and I don't think I will, because at this point, I'm not up to the grind. I used to joke with people that I started doing the magic show with a marriage and a mortgage and a burning desire to keep both. And while we have moved several times since then, I still am married to a startlingly tolerant, patient, and encouraging person who can't hear me right now, which is good, because it gets awkward, but it's true. And as such, I don't have the bandwidth to traipse across the country. And it also means that, you know, the answer to why can't you come out and play with us here is that I have an effective radius. Unless the venue is willing to pay for my travel and my lodging, I'm here. I'm based out of San Antonio, and I have about a 100-mile effective radius if I'm not getting paid at all. Unless it's really, really fun. There's some things I'm going to do that are going to be really, really fun regardless. Like Steampunk November. We are always going to Steampunk November because that's what we do for Amy's birthday weekend. There it is. All right. Next song is, of course, Dilettante. Yeah, it's amazing. It's just how much she has managed to tolerate out of me. And she is the reason why I am not dead in a ditch on fire. I'm a dabbler, I'm a dilettante, I'm a hapless amateur. I'm the least of the unqualified of all there ever were. I'll never be professional, the fates choose to defer. I'm a dabbler, I'm a dilettante, I'm a hapless amateur. Make up songs, the story is done, that's a long time ago. And the people often ask me if I ever will go pro. I don't think I can give up what I'd have to shed to go. So I'll keep on being amateur. It's what I seem to know. It's what I seem to know. I'm a dabbler, I'm a dilettante, I'm a hapless amateur. I'm the least of the unqualified of all there ever were. I'll never be professional, the fates choose to defer. I'm a dabbler, I'm a dilettante, I'm a hapless amateur. There you go. The people from all walks of life rush off to conquer fame. And to be frank, I'd be happy if you might recall my name. But I'm quite content to loaf about, I won't strive for acclaim. So I'll happily eschew the grind, no one else is to blame. I'm a dabbler, I'm a dilettante, I'm a hapless amateur. I'm the least of the unqualified of all there ever were. I'll never be professional, the fates choose to defer. I'm a dabbler, I'm a dilettante, I'm a hapless amateur. Now, lots more phones I'll tuck away in some strange metal pouch. And if I were to do this all full time, I'd sleep on someone's couch. My marriage and my mortgage are too dear to me, I vouch. So instead of marching off to fame, I casually will slouch. I'm a dabbler, I'm a dilettante, I'm a hapless amateur. I'm the least of the unqualified of all there ever were. I'll never be professional, the fates choose to defer. I'm a dabbler, I'm a dilettante, I'm a hapless amateur. Now, my friends, I know I'm not alone. We all do have our toys, and you don't need to monetize the things that bring you joy. I mean, if you want to give me cash, don't hesitate to deploy. I have a PayPal and a Venmo, but so long as you're all having fun, then I'm a happy boy. I'm a dabbler, I'm a dilettante, I'm a hapless amateur. I'm the least of the unqualified of all there ever were. I'll never be professional, the fates choose to defer. I'm a dabbler, I'm a dilettante, I'm a hapless amateur. Now I know fame can have its allure. Let's try that again. Now I know that fame can have its allure. That's why I wrote this song. Can't play it well though. And you see famous folks and worry that we might be doing it wrong. Among all these famous pros, that feeling can be strong. So if you're a dilettante like me, I hope you sing along. I'm a dabbler, I'm a dilettante, I'm a hapless amateur. I'm the least of the unqualified of all there ever were. I'll never be professional, the fates choose to defer. I'm a dabbler, I'm a dilettante, I'm a hapless amateur. I'm a dabbler, I'm a dilettante, I'm a hapless amateur. I'm a dabbler, I'm a dilettante, I'm a hapless amateur. There we go. Yeah, I haven't done that song in a while either. And the last song, because we have now reached that moment you've all been waiting for, the final song in the set. Those of you watching live and those of you watching along on replay, because I am big on syndication, this is a song that I first heard back in California at the Dickens Christmas Fair, or the Great Victorian Christmas Fair of Charles Dickens, London. But it's called Dickens Fair by everybody that worked it. And they're going through some things now. And current bard is named Liar. Is he a big liar or a small liar? You know, it's not the lie, it's the size of the liar. Anyway, I didn't know the song before I found it there. And apparently a lot of people think that this song is in fact a Victorian music hall song because it sounds like it is a Victorian music hall song. It's not. It was written in the 70s. It was written in the 70s, specifically about a seafood restaurant in Baltimore, Maryland. And it is... I didn't even bother... Why put the title up? It's right there, man. I just go right for the bumper sticker. And it's a good way to wrap the week up. Eat Bertha's mussels. They're the best there is by far. You can eat them in the dining room. You can eat them in the bar. So when you're ashore in Baltimore and you fancy a bite to eat, just follow your nose to Bertha's and you'll be in for a rare old treat. Now a sailor came to Bertha's with a problem most severe. His manly pride had been atrophied by a voyage of 14 years. So he ate a plate of mussels. Now he sings in a different key. His jibboom said, right, he'll be back there tonight, and he's not going back to sea. So eat Bertha's mussels. They're the best there is by far. You can eat them in the dining room. You can eat them in the bar. So when you're ashore in Baltimore and you fancy a bite to eat, just follow your nose to Bertha's and you'll be in for a rare old treat. Now a lady came to Bertha's who wanted a daughter or son. The doctors had said with a shake of their heads that she couldn't have either one. So she ate a plate of mussels and went home to her husband. Dear, hi babe, she tuned up this truth, and to tell ya the truth, they had triplets the very next year. So eat Bertha's mussels, they're the best there is by far. You can eat them in the dining room, you can eat them in the bar. So when you're ashore in Baltimore and you fancy a bite to eat, just follow your nose to Bertha's and you'll be in for a rare old treat. They will cure your diarrhea, thank God, cure your constipation too. No waiting, just follow a box for the chicken pox, for the measles, or the flu. So if you fancy a healthy life, get your daily dosage straight. A plate a day of Bertha's mussels, and you'll live till you're 98. Everybody eat Bertha's mussels, yum! They're the best there is by far. You can eat them in the dining room, you can eat them at the bar, When you're ashore in Baltimore and you fancy a bite to eat, just follow your nose to Bertha's and you'll be in for a rare old treat. And so we come staggering, slightly wobbly, but mostly confused, to the conclusion of another successful, I hope successful, looks successful, Tobias the Adequate Troubadork non-commute pandemic coping mechanism show. Here in the room known as Away, in the house known as Odoroki, in an undisclosed location in San Antonio, Texas, where it stopped raining for a minute. That's good. We will continue to do this, more or less, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, for the next few weeks. Probably at least the next 5. Then things will probably change. This is mostly because of my day job. The day job thing is changing, so the scheduling will change, and eventually we will probably defer to doing 1 or 2 shows a month that are much longer and happen on the weekends when I'm not performing at an actual event. If I'm really insane, we'll find some way of actually broadcasting the shows from the actual event. That's not real likely, but it could happen. Stranger things have been known to happen and even have witnesses. Anyway, we live in a capitalistic society. The tip jar, paypal.me/theadequate, Venmo @TimeTheAdequate. I want to thank Alicia, Eric, Robert, Rick, Emily, and Miranda for throwing some bucks in the bucket. And I want to thank my startlingly tolerant and supportive Patreon patron peeps. Patreon.com/theadequate. That is Jen, Joe, Alexi, Austin, Chris Teppo, Shay, Linda, and Stephen, Rob, Alicia, Relly, BK, Richard, Brian, and Lorene. And my Patreon peeps past and future. The past ones I know about. The future ones, you know who you are. I don't. Any money that comes in for this show through these venues goes to making the show more technically sound. I know, right? I can't say anything about improving the actual quality of the show because it's me. So there's that. Patreon peeps get previews of stuff. They get freebies. They get cool things. It's kind of fun. You can find me on the interwebs. I'm everywhere. I'm ubiquitous. I am theadequate.com for all of your adequacy needs on the webs. I am at The Adequate on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Tobias at Tobias the Adequate on TikTok and Tumblr. I am at soundcloud.com/Matthew-Laguerre for all kinds of stuff involving the recordings that I have made so far. Unruly Voices is proud and a little embarrassed to present Artisanal Gibberish Volume 1. Yes, the official reprint with an ISBN number on the back and everything. And I assure you the red stains are jam. At unrulyvoices.com/product/artisanal-gibberish. You can find this on Amazon, on Barnes & Noble, on Bookshop, and what of the indie booker. It's on the description that's next to the show over here, so or over there, whichever way it is. It's in there somewhere. And of course, it's in ebook format now, 99 cents for the book in electron format, and you've certainly spent more money on sillier things. THUD Bucket is death metal you can laugh at, and you can find it out there on the interwebs. It's THUD Bucket on any streaming service that has the word music in it, including Spotify, and also on Facebook and on YouTube. We have 4 videos out, and that's not bad for something that was literally thrown together by 2 guys over half a continent apart. That was fun. And that's about it. That's about it. That's where you are. I am almost not hurting anymore from the weekend when I spent far more time walking around the Faire site than I had planned on. But I'm doing better, and I hope you're doing well. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. Be kind. Be safe. Be silly. Be decent. Be adequate. All those good things. Y'all have been wonderful. I have been Tobias the Adequate, and I thank you for encouraging my behavior. I will see you all next time. Aloha.